What is going on, Silver Squad, and welcome back to another episode of the Silver Site. My name is RJ,
And my name is Wade.
and today we're going to be reviewing Black Widow, which is now streaming on Disney Plus platform and is also available in theaters. It's directed by Kate Shortland. It stars Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, and David Harbour. And basically, this is Black Widow's first and I guess last standalone film. Got a little bit too late. But better late than never. Before we begin, want to make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on all of our content. We are also on all social media platforms below. Links down below in the description. So before we, I guess deep dive into the movie real quick, what did you think? What are your overall thoughts on Black Widow?
I feel Black Widow was good. It was good, not a great Marvel movie. It's a popcorn movie, as I'll put it. I enjoyed a majority of it. There were some things in the plot line that made me go a little, okay, I guess. But overall, I still enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, same here. It wasn't any. I think that I've seen very extreme reviews on both ends for this movie. I've seen people praise it like it's Winter Soldier. I've seen people dump on it like it's Thor 2. And I don't think it's fair to do that on either end. Mm-hmm. It's not exactly terrible, but it's not exactly Endgame or Infinity War. And I feel like it's right in the middle for me as far as where, a good or bad or whatever tier Marvel movie. I enjoyed it. There were things about it that I liked and things about it that I didn't like. This review is going to be non-spoiler, semi-spoiler. We won't give away too many things. We want to make sure that we protect your viewing experience first and foremost. So I guess let's dive into it. Mm-hmm. So what are some things that you enjoyed about Black Widow?
I'm going to say this now. The four main characters.
Okay.
The Romanoff family. I mean, I forget names at the moment, but
yeah.
Natasha, Yelena, the Red Guardian, and their mother. The mom. All four of them were just amazing. And whenever they were on screen, you paid attention, you heard everything, and you just loved it. But one of my standout moments was anytime Yelena and Natasha had to interact and do stuff together. I felt that I could have just had a movie with just them and I'd have been fine.
Oh, for sure.
I love their camaraderie.
I feel like they had really good on-screen chemistry together, and I feel like the way the characters are written, you felt that kind of strained sisterly bond, and you felt that they kind of had a job to do in getting back together and trying to go and take down the Red Room. I feel like Yelena was definitely the bright spot in this movie. Mm-hmm. Every time she was on screen, like you said, you would pay attention to her. You were focused on what she was doing, what she was saying, and I feel like that's one of the things that this movie did get right. Another thing that I guess I kind of enjoyed about this movie was it was very, very empowering from a female perspective, but it was very female driven without being girl bossy. Mm-hmm. Like, we're doing this because we're girls and we got this and ovaries. I didn't get that vibe. I got like, we're just badass women. It is what it is. We got a job to do, and I feel like that's kind of what I've expected from a Black Widow movie.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Knowing what I know about the character, we saw the development of her, and now we know that right after the events, because this movie, it's a spoiler, is placed right after Civil War and before Black Panther and before Infinity War and Endgame and anything after that. Yeah. We saw that Natasha was not only a badass, but we also saw her vulnerability as well.
Yeah, and I wish we got to see a little bit more of that. This felt like it felt like less of a standalone origin film, and it was kind of like a hybrid of a standalone origin film / introducing new characters that are going to be brought to the MCU later on. And I think that's kind of what gave me the mid-tier kind of feeling about this movie, is it felt more like an intro than an actual like Black Panther origin movie. It didn't feel like it was really Natasha's movie. It felt more like Natasha and friends, and it's something that it sucks because I really wish that we would have gotten this movie when we were supposed to, because I didn't really have that sense of danger that, you know, because we know she didn't die in the end. You know, she fell from the fucking sky at one point, and then
Exactly. Like, yo, the running gag on social media.
yeah,
Like, yeah, can't wait for Black Widow to drop. She dropped an Endgame. What are you guys talking about? Like, it's been established. Like you said,
yeah,
we knew the end
yeah,
result. It was just like, okay, let's just see what happens in
yeah.
between. And we know Natasha's not gonna die at any point in this movie. So
Exactly.
it
Yeah,
is what it is. We're just gonna
yeah.
take it for what it is.
It completely took away the sense of danger in the film, which, you know, I get it, and but you know, this movie felt like it was more for the fans and more for Scarlett Johansson more than anything. I
Hmm.
felt like this movie really felt like it was fan service because, you know, as much as I love Captain Marvel the character, and as much as I love Brie Larson, I feel like, you know, this was really kind of giving Scarlett Johansson her flowers for playing Black Widow all these years and essentially carrying the female over the Marvel Cinematic Universe for years.
Agreed. She got her just flowers, literally, literally. But
Literally.
um, I feel like this movie lost, like you said, lost its luster a while ago.
Yeah.
Not even with the pushback. I'm talking about this movie should have happened because we were clamoring for it so
Yeah.
long. Like we want to know. Age of Ultron gave us a little bit of a detail of what went on in the Red Room. We wanted this movie post haste with everything
Yeah.
going on to know more of the backstory. But like you said, and I'm agreeing with you again, this felt more like you know what, people are comparing this to Winter Soldier.
Mm.
I'm gonna go on a limb here and say it was basically Civil War. It was
Yeah.
Captain America's movie, but
Yeah.
you really paid attention to everybody else around him but
Yeah.
him.
It
And
did
that's what
feel
I
like
felt this movie was like.
it did feel like she was just kind of there and along for the ride to kind
Mhm.
of, you know, bring Yelena in. But yeah, it's something that I did enjoy, and I feel like it's something that should have came out 2013, 14, around that time.
Yeah, around that time, maybe 2012,
Yeah, maybe
13.
even
Yeah.
then. Yeah, one of them. But it did have a lot of good things about this movie. Now we have talked about things that we did enjoy about the movie. I want to get into some things that I didn't enjoy about the movie because we are fair at the silver side and everything isn't always roses. Um, it's the same problem that I have with all the Marvel movies, and I keep saying this, is they never let you enjoy the dramatic moments. They always bring a joke in, where it's something that can be really serious and kind of like up the tier of the Marvel movie. I
Mhm.
feel like they throw it like, all right, they'll have a dramatic moment and it'll kind of like bring it up here, like, oh wow, this can be serious, this can be a real movie, and they'll throw a stupid ass joke in there and it'll just pew, right back down, and it's things like that. There was something about, because the Red Room is a very serious matter. It is a dark, traumatic past for Natasha Romanoff, but in the same breath, you have Yelena talking about how she had a hysterectomy and she kind of like laughed it off.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you know what the thing is though. I will be honest with you. I did laugh. I did. I'm not gonna hold. I'm not gonna be like, no,
Yeah,
it wasn't funny. Um, I was just like, yeah, that
yeah,
could have been handled way differently. I get
yeah,
it. You did it for comedic relief, but
yeah,
when it comes to the Red Room, as people have known beforehand,
yeah,
it's not fun and games in there. There's no joy. You're an instance of young girls are taken
yeah,
away in the Red Room.
yeah.
So
They're taken away. They're essentially kidnapped, taken away. You know, forced to fight, murdered if they don't meet standards of the Red Room, and then you're joking about it. You know, it's just. But I get it. People use jokes to get through trauma and things like that.
exactly.
Like in a movie aspect where you're trying to raise the stakes, where you're trying. And I think that's what it did for me too. It kind of lowered my expectations or lowered the stakes when you're laughing about something like that. Yeah. So, is there anything else that you didn't care for about Black Widow? Anything that you kind of thought they could have did better?
How a certain character was handled. I'm not gonna go.
About
I'm not gonna go full detail and spoil that, but a certain character who we have been questioning about since we saw them in the first trailer
yeah,
and their origins, Taskmaster. I will not go into details, but I do not like how the character was handled.
yeah.
I don't like it at all. It felt very forced and like, let's just do it this way just to have the character in the movie.
It was flat. It
Very
was
flat.
it was one of the most underwhelming reveals that I can remember in recent time. I feel like they did that, and I think I was on the edge of my seat waiting to see what was going on. And then when it happened, I was like, "Oh,
Agreed.
like, like is that it?" And then I feel like the main, because Taskmaster I think was more like the B villain, but the A villain to me was very Inspector Gadget, Dr. Claw kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the vibe I was getting from him. And the dialogue between the main villain and Natasha and him was just really corny. It was like the villain reveals their master plan in this big monologue, Shonda Rhimes kind of dialogue speech. It was too much for me. That's the one complaint I have about this movie.
She's a spy, though. You kind of have to expect those with spy movies. The A villain always gives away their damn plan, and then the hero's like, "Aha! But you didn't rule this wild card out."
Yeah.
Water.
But that's exactly how it happened, though. It just was very like and I get it, it's a movie, but it was really dramatic to me. It was really dramatic.
The more we're talking about it, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, oh man, it was so dramatic and like, it was very James Bond Jr. like. It wasn't James Bond, it was James Bond Jr. as a TV show. Just okay, I guess, whatever.
And it didn't ruin anything for me because like I said, it's a movie. You expect the theatrics, you expect the dramatics. But it was just something I noticed. Was like y'all doing too much for this dialogue here. Like, just wrap it up here. The speech is kind of long. It's just something that I really just didn't too much care for. I feel like but So also one more good thing I want to mention was David Harbour's performance as
Red Guardian.
He was funny, and I don't really care for the jokes in Marvel, but that man had me laughing so hard the entire movie. Mm-hmm. I felt like he was very refreshing in this movie.
Oh, I agree, especially with I'm not going to spoil it again because it's just good dialogue that he has. Yeah. When they're in the field and like he pulls Natasha to the side to talk to her about something, and she's like, "What the? What? Like that's what you want to talk about right now?"
My favorite two moments I have was when Yelena dropped down from the ceiling, and then the helicopter was those are the two things that had me dying.
Yo, me too. I lost it, and when she did what she did, she was like, ugh, disgusting.
Definitely, yeah. I enjoyed the film. I will say I don't think it's worth $30. Like for me, a single man watching, Black Widow on Disney Plus, it is not worth the $30. I will say that. However, it's not. But if you are vaccinated, you feel safe, you have a mask, and you feel like going to the theater, it is worth the $13 or whatever you pay for a ticket. Because I wouldn't have. I'd have been mad if I paid $30 for that.
Me too. I only paid $7 because I went during the matinee.
Came out good.
I came out good. I came out winning.
Because I think the last two movies I paid for on Disney Plus was Mulan and Raya and the Last Dragon, and those are definitely not worth $30. So yeah, if you're vaccinated, you feel safe enough, I think that it is a better experience on the big screen because of the action, which they did the action scenes very well. Black Widow did her signature spinning armbar random thing that she does in every Marvel movie. But yeah, I enjoyed the action in this movie too. The fight scenes were definitely well choreographed.
I agree. They were so good. You got a flip though, so hey, there were flips. Flips were included.
She didn't die.
She didn't die. She did a flip. She survived. But again, you're right. Going with these movies, it is comparing it to, and I hate doing this, these fight scenes were handled way better than another female heroes movie in the Marvel universe, where all her fight scenes were jokey, ha, just girl boss stuff. Even though I do like the character Captain Marvel, Black Widow scenes were just great, especially her interactions with Taskmaster. Reminded me of the Avengers game. That was one of the only good parts of the game. But it reminded me of that heavy.
Yeah. Taskmaster had such a presence on screen until until that happened. But
Yeah.
Taskmaster has such a terrifying presence on screen. You know, learning as they go, and you know, just beating Black Widow ass, and just it was good. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed Taskmaster. Definitely the what happened with them was probably the most disappointing part of the movie, but I still enjoyed, you know, Black Widow overall. So, do you think on the scale, knowing what you know about Black Widow, do you think that Black Widow is worth going to see in theaters, worth streaming on Disney Plus, or should people wait for it to just naturally make its way to Disney Plus?
Man, I did enjoy it in the theaters, but this could have been more of a. I'll wait a little bit. I'll see how I'll vibe it out. Then, if I want to go see it, I'll go to the theaters, or I'll wait till Disney Plus gets it because Disney Plus probably gets it like in a month or two, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, it's streamable, but like you said, the pleasure of it all and enjoying the visuals is a
yeah,
movie experience.
definitely, yeah. And like I said, we know she dies in Endgame, so it's not like you have to rush to watch it to figure out what's going to happen. I will say this though, not giving anything away. If you have not watched Captain America and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus, you're not going to get the end credit scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Not saying much.
I'm not going to say much. We're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it right here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Drop a comment down below whether you like Black Widow or not, whether you think it's worth watching in the movie theaters. With that being said, everybody have a great evening. Later days.